Welcome to the 9PL podcast, where we deep dive into the world of the Your Hub Nines Premier League and bring you the latest updates, insights, and discussions. Today, we're interviewing Titan IND Brisbane Qualifying team, the North Coast Kings, with Francis Bennett and Campbell Pirihi.
Beautiful.
Is that right?
Thanks for having us.
Welcome, fellas.
Thank you.
It's been very nice knowing you for the last, going on 4 years now. Francis, obviously, you put in one Roachdale team, then there was two, be it mix and match. Campbell, I think you ran around for mix and match that year.
Yeah, double OG and the mix and match.
And I think you might have gone through to the quarters and maybe lost to who'd you lose?
The eventual winners, was it Sharks?
Sharkies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, Curtis Scott's team, I think.
Yeah.
They ended up getting us in the quarters. No, it was an awesome comp to be a part of, man, and to see where it's come from there.
Yeah.
It's heaps exciting.
No, it's been good. It's been good. Obviously watching your journey and shout out to the big fella, obviously chucking in two teams in the first year, which is great. How you had mix and match surpass your original Roachdale team. I'm not sure how you've gone about doing that, but created the merger.
Yep.
Launched the North Coast Marlins. Now, give us the North Coast Kings. Like what outside of me actually asking you as a favour and a good friend to put in another team. What was the idea around putting in this team this year?
So North Coast Kings, I'll give you a quick story about last year. We had a guy called Zach Masterson who played for our North Coast Marlins side, was playing local Open Twos footy. Never really got a crack. Anyway, this kid turned up to training and he was rock solid from the start. I even messaged him and said, man, if I don't know if I'm going to have a spot for you. I sort of tested him out. He's probably not going to like me talking about him, but he was the main reason for it. Those guys that I suppose get missed between the gaps that are playing local footy with their mates instead of trying to push for a pathway, but they're at that stage of their life where, I don't know, they want a shot. They get their KO moment. They get to verse some of the best players across Australia and across the world now. And ultimately, North Coast King represents what we stand for at North Coast Marlins. So, it's all about opportunity first and then football second. So that was the main focus for North Coast Kings.
Unreal. And I mean, you've developed quite the community, the culture. You've been part of it, since sort of the beginning as well. Flashback, how have you found the concept evolve? I mean, I'm pretty fortunate to be talking to a couple of OGs. How have you found your experience playing in the Nines? Has it changed much year to year?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's changed. Definitely the competitiveness. That's changed. The star power to come along, and being someone that grew up watching pretty much nearly every team as NRL players, ex-NRL players, sorry, throughout the whole comp, and having the opportunity to play them. The biggest one for me was Jimmy Maloney. I've been a Warriors supporter my whole life. The only time I ever remember us going to a grand final was Jimmy Maloney was our 5'8", and then to play him and then to get one over him and give the Sharks their first ever loss, that was so cool, man. That was such an awesome moment. And then to him, later on, come over and come say g'day and stuff like that. Moments like that you don't get after you've fallen out of a system and things like that. For me, that was one of the highlights, other than sort of being part of my team and taking that underdog sort of tag along with us everywhere we go. I guess what else has changed? The venue got a lot better, and making it sort of a big sort of sevens sort of esque venue, and sort of the vibe and stuff like that. That's been awesome to be a part of as well. And yeah, bro, can't wait till we go international.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're gonna need some I suppose some local knowledge when we get over to New Zealand. I know there's been some good conversations happening over there, so you'll have to run us in the right line. Has recruitment changed over the course of the last few years? I mean, you've started a team, or you brought along two, then you started a team, and you've always sort of scratched around for the right guys who are fitting and also coming in under I suppose that banner of what you're after. Has that evolved over time as well?
Well, yeah, I think as the Nines evolved, they see the North Coast Marlins, and then obviously with our North Coast Kings now, it's so instead of, I suppose, myself sending out the crazy messages from week to week to certain guys, and in competitions, I've got guys, even local club footy I walk into and they're like, oh, I want to be a part of that. Well, there's a process to being a part of it now. So So yeah, the recruitment side of it has definitely changed. We've done an application up over the weekend, and we're actually doing a tryout day for the local boys between Brisbane, Ipswich, and the Gold Coast for the North Coast Kings, and offering a pathway possibly to play for the North Coast Marlins as well.
How good. Have you got the date locked in?
We haven't
yet?
got a date locked in because obviously club footy changes in different competitions, but it'll probably be late September. I'm sort of gathering.
Okay.
And most likely there's a couple of clubs that we're probably doing that. I'll probably go home where the Nines is probably going to be held as well.
Yep.
Up at Rochdale as well, because it makes sense.
Yep.
For myself, so that's where it all sort of started for me. So, but yeah, that'll be there as well.
Isn't it a crazy full circle? I think I did a podcast with you, and when you entered the two teams with yourself and your dad, and you were in the clubhouse, and now we're actually taking it to Rochdale, which is going to be great, and super fortunate of obviously your family and Rochdale Tigers for giving us a shot to use that as a venue for Brisbane.
Yep.
There's been some good teams sort of entering, really, really good teams actually.
Yep.
Which would be another big event. What roles are we playing here? I mean, you're coaching obviously, and you've got the big fella.
Yeah. So
what's the plan?
So I'm coaching the North Coast Marlins side.
Head of football, if you will.
Head of football. We'll call it head of football. Put a bit of a tag on the shoulder, but essentially the pathway, promote, I suppose, and offer someone who, a few years ago he's still one of the best halves in the Gold Coast competition now.
Yeah.
Back then he was the best half, in the competition.
Yep.
And he came into a side, we didn't have a lot, and he jumped in and he helped us sort of get to where we needed to get to in those sort of finals. So me giving back to him is a big thing. It's his next sort of chapter or journey, I suppose, as a football coach. And I think the biggest thing for that is he's only going to be the football coach too. I'm going to take all the weight off his shoulders. I'm going to do all the recruitment and all our merch and all that stuff, so he gets to be the best of his ability.
Cool.
As he comes into the Nines in Brisbane. So,
how are you? Are you currently coaching at all?
Yeah, I am. I'm currently coaching. Well, we actually just finished our undefeated season at Coomera Cutters, North Gold Coast. Took an under-10 side, and man, honestly, I actually enjoyed it more than playing.
Yeah.
Like, the excitement I had every single weekend going into those kids' games, and like even going to training and stuff, I'd be more excited like to go and see my kids because they remind you of when you're at that age when footy's nothing but fun.
Yeah.
And like the biggest thing I instill into the kids is the right morals, the right work ethics, and most importantly, the right attitude and how to play the game. But above all, it's fun. And we actually took on an under-10 side that had been undefeated for about 2-3 years, and we had them in our internal home grand final, and we got them. We won 8 tries to 6, and like honestly, I thought we were going to have the maddest silly Sunday going into Mad Monday. It was unreal, bro. It was so much fun. So when Francis hit me up about the opportunity to coach a little bit older crew in the North Coast Kings, I was chomping at the bit, and I'm so excited for the challenge. I definitely want to be involved in coaching after footy's done. Only 27, so I've still got 20 more years to go.
Yeah, 20. Yeah,
Yeah.
at least for the Marlins.
Nine size at least.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm just excited for the opportunity and so grateful that it's only a coaching role. Like I've seen how much work and how much time and effort that Francis puts into it, and I take my hat off to all of the coaches and stuff that have to do everything that he's doing as well. Especially what's his name? They won last year, the Dogs. What's his name?
Yasik.
Yeah, and he coaches. Does he coach their team as well?
Yeah, he's captain coach.
Yeah.
See, that's stuff that is like I inspire to be like that because that's sick as how you might be able to do that, and he's pretty young too.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited for the challenge.
No, you definitely, you're part of good stock, and Francis is pretty special when it comes to organising, making sure that everything's done on time, coaching the right way, but also what I'd found, particularly leading up to this year's comp, was just watching you guys train. Like, there's only wonder, and forgive me for bringing it back up, but you were so far out in front of United, like burying them, for them to come back, and then you beat the Sharks, who've never been beaten, or they had been, but obviously in this year's one it was more intense. And then I think you fell down to CMBT. So there's all these key learnings that one you've developed as a player, but also watching it as a bystander to a coach. You're in a good space, man. So what are you doing with your academy as well? I suppose that'll help. One, you're coaching the 10s. Transitioning to adults, you're going to probably have to get out the notepad and pen from the big fella.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So give us a bit of background about your academy.
Yeah, cool. So Campbell's Athletic Academy, it's basically just a program that focuses around fun, friendship, and fitness. Within schools that I currently work in on the North Gold Coast, and basically just going there to make sure the kids are. So there's like basically giving the kids more opportunity to be able to want to play your Oz tags, your touch, and then transition into footy. But just learning the good sort of values and work ethics and having the right attitude about how to play. I'm like massive on that and trying to instill that into the kids, because at that age I didn't have that, and I thought I was the man at everything. So the academy is basically set up in a way where we get the kids in while they're young, and sort of I want to grow with them as they develop into a teenage years, early adult life, with my own sort of journey at that age, from under 12s all the way up. I was Queensland schoolboys, all of that stuff, yada, yada, yada. When it got to about 19, 20, I had got to a stage where I had sort of lost the love for the game, and I was fizzled out. It was too much for me. I didn't want to play anymore. And then came back to footy a couple of years after that, after doing a little bit of an acting stint. Thought I was got to be the next Russell Crowe. And a little side story on that, actually. The coolest role I got, bro, was I'm an Asgardian soldier on Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, right.
And that was done on the Gold Coast. So that's my big.
I'll get your autograph after this.
Fame, yeah, bro. Yeah, no, line up. But I came back to footy after that, and my journey that I had as a teenager, going into a young adult, I sort of want to give back to the community that I live in now, and to some younger kids, and sort of show them what to do, what not to do, sort of thing, and make sure that there's so much more to life than footy, and footy's awesome, we love it, but life comes first, and if you're not okay, and if you're not right in your lifestyle or in your home, you're not going to enjoy your footy. So that's the biggest part of trying to instill those values into the kids. And
I think it'll transfer pretty quickly into adults. Like, we all don't make great decisions from time to time. We also get into a fork in the road, and there is that decision to try and whether you're choosing the right one, or if you're confused about things that you're doing, and having someone obviously help guide that. I think something that you've certainly done is create this culture and these events where, for better or worse, some of these blokes would have said, I've got training tomorrow at the beach, it's pissing down rain, I'm not going out for a beer tonight. That helps decision making, and you don't have to do that with the under 10s, albeit it might be Ribena and some what's it, fire engine type drink. This is for adults, and the same rules still apply. There are the right ways, the right choices, and sometimes people actually need them to be created for them, which I think this is, Marlins going into Kings, it's the same sort of culture, which has been fantastic. Will your coaching be different to Campbell's in terms of how he coaches the team? Are you going to be really strict on how he sort of applies what it looks like on the field?
Ultimately, we will be different, because obviously I know how Campbell ticks as a player.
Be flashy
but
plays.
I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be telling him what to do. So that's like I said, that's an opportunity for himself.
Yeah.
To put his glitter on paper, I suppose, because he does come up with the play, and he'll be instilling those plays into the sort of the younger generation. So, and in regards to my style, well, I like the grit and I love the challenge. So, and I know he does, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of similarities, because he's always given me everything for the last 4 years when he's played for me. So I sort of expect that as a football coach, to be instilling that into those guys that are turning up on a Sunday morning at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Not hungover. A couple tend to start hungover.
Yeah.
By the end of their journey.
Yeah.
They're normally first there, and they're on the waters, and they're ready to go. So
that's great.
yeah.
How how have you found it? Like, obviously, different playing styles against different teams over the last 3 years. Is there a certain style that you're going to be trying to apply with these, with the Kings?
100%. Yeah, no, there's so like Francis' game plan and everything he is about a coach. Like I love that, and we'll be using mainly most of that without giving away any secrets. There's definitely a way to win these Nines footy games.
Oh, yeah?
I've definitely identified that after like playing and watching over the last couple of years that there's certain spots where people get found out quite a lot, and we will be attacking those areas. We may be flashy, maybe not. We maybe fast, maybe slow. We don't know. But it's gonna be awesome, man. I definitely learnt a lot from TC. Carney played with Carney and what's the other dude's name? Laybutt Kyle.
Oh yeah.
While we were over in Vegas, and the way they play the game as well.
Yeah.
So just been taking bits and pieces from different people I've played with, talked to, and my own little stuff. So yeah, I'll definitely be putting a bit of Campbell Pirihi's flavour on the North Coast Kings.
I'm looking forward to that. I mean, Todd and Kyle was arguably, if the Pigs won the comp, he was out and out going to be player of the tournament.
Easily.
He was
unreal.
I've just never. I think most of the people who are making the decision have never been big fans of giving a player of the match to a player in the losing team. I think it just out and out has to be. The right fit in that and the running team itself. But I'm excited to see what you come up with, man. You're a student of the game and one of my favourite Nines players to watch. I know I've sort of chased along the sideline. You'd see me sort of stepping before you're doing a kick. I always like Nine Campbell because he kick a ball, man, can drop quick really well. And then even your attacking skills been excellent to watch over the years. Who have you got in this team, or how are you doing the recruitment? You've got two teams to recruit for. You've obviously got some blokes who are already staying in the Marlins, but how are you recruiting for the North Coast Kings?
So we won't talk about the Marlins recruitment because no one's going to know this year.
Park that until later.
But yeah, I've sort of talent locker was a big thing as well to start with. So we mentioned a story about. I met Moxie Sports Management there.
Through Talent Locker?
Yeah, so through Talent Locker, I got a random sort of message through them, and then I met Tracy, and then from there, so what they're about, I suppose, as a sports management, they're about young athletes who might not always get a fair shot or an opportunity. So yeah, that's one of our recruitments, and couple of players from them at the moment. So there's Tama Darling. He's at Runaway Bay Seagulls. I've done a heap of video on him when they sent it to me. The best thing about him is he played 20s at the start of the year, and then he played his stint in reserve grade, and then now he's playing 20s to start, and then he's playing A grade for Runaway Bay Seagulls.
Wow.
But the biggest thing I found for him personally was his transition when he didn't play A grade 1 week, and he went back to 20s. He was still on. Didn't have an ego, didn't have a chip on his shoulder. Wow. Still played his best footy. So those sort of players, that's what we're sort of looking for. That's just to mention one. Jaden Evans is a unique number 9. He's at Perth, over at the Perth Lions over there, playing first grade. So he's going to be a part of us too. And then to sort of name, I suppose we've got a couple of older heads too that I know personally too. So Zach Tybey's one.
Okay.
He's played a bit of Host Plus Cup.
Yeah.
Bit of an older head for the younger guys. So he's an OB. Would like to say he's a back rower as well. We have a bit of a laugh about that because we have a massive laugh about that. And then my current club captain too, Timmy Toops.
Oh, nice.
Won a couple of BLRA grade competitions as well. Played heaps of footy. Plays all his tags, 33, but fit as body of a god.
Oh, yeah.
Great leader too. So he'll be a part of that. I think we've sort of spoken about Campbell's got a couple as well. So.
Yeah, I've got a couple of young bucks as well. My sort of niche for this team was to try and grab some blokes that aren't in your NRL systems yet, but sort of on the verge, but haven't really got anything yet. So
yeah, cool.
Still in your Malmeningas and things like that, but haven't really cracked it into the sort of next sort of phase and trying to get into a system. So I've sort of wanted to keep it focused around those young blokes just to get more eyes on them, a bit more exposure, a bit more experience, and also the young fresh legs get the job done.
They do.
On the second day, bro. So I'll name drop 2 really quickly. No one's going to know them, obviously, because they're not in any systems or anything, but got a young kid named Braden Wong. He's a Helensville Hornets junior and played in the winning Mount Meninga side. They just took it out this year.
Yeah.
He's a dummy half lock. Will go all day, and he likes to be called Jacob Lautner from Twilight. He's a doppelganger, bro. He's God body as well too, bro.
Yeah, right. He's getting chiseled players.
Yeah, bro. Who else we got? And then another young boy. He's up here from the Raiders actually. Moved for family reasons. And his name's Kalani Skips. A 1'6'7" centre. Can jam on the wing too, and can jam anyone that gets in front of him like a mad eye. So, be really keen for those young boys to have a run around and have a crack and get a bit more exposure.
Outstanding. No, I think he's in a great place, and I mean, starting with what was the management company? Moxie.
Yep.
So there's Moxie, and massive shout out to them, obviously, for supporting, collaborating. It's going to be great for you. But have you got any other sponsors that are sort of supporting this team in getting across the line?
So what we ended up doing, we're actually doing a dual sponsorship across both teams, because all our sponsorships have meaning to it. So they're not just the general person. We've sent an information pack to the people that are in our lives, within our lives. So X2 Projects, and they've always been with me. They're the boys. I went to primary school.
Great supporters.
Yeah, Tim and Sam. I went to primary school with Tim and Sam. We grew up together. We busted knuckles together. We've done really bad decisions together as people, but ultimately they're my bosses now as well. And X2 Projects, we build from the ground up. I work for X2 Projects as well, but they're our naming rights. So they've really, this time around, and every other time, but this time around, have really pushed for both teams as well. So
that's great.
Got them on board. I've got JJ Sheet Metal, who were with us again last year. They're all in aircon duct. They're locally on the Gold Coast as well. And I've also got Freedom Plan Management. So Beck there. It's an accounting with NDIS. Really good friend of mine, really good family friend of ours, and mine and my wife. They're on board as well. And then we've got a new one, Noja Power. They sort of specialise in fuse breakers, but that sponsorship's come through one of our players. So that's part of his family as well.
Wow.
So that's that sort of meaning that I spoke about. They're not just, they're people that are interested in what we're actually trying to build as Marlins and now obviously North Coast Kings. So they have meaning and value to us as a team. So
yeah, I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, seeing from what you have done, starting 2 years ago, into now creating 2 teams, it's far easier bringing along those who and who are familiar with this, and if you're doing a good job, and they're well and truly more than happy to continue backing you, which is great.
Yeah.
I suppose I don't really need to ask you for new logos because I've already got them all. They're all on our hard drive.
Yep.
With that being said, they're supporting you guys. We always have our non-for-profit each year. Have you got one that's going to be across both, or have you got 2, or what does it sort of look like?
So it's going to go across both. We're going to go across both, and it's definitely going to be men's mental health.
Great.
I've said this story before, and in my last podcast, men's mental health, if we can offer them something, anyone who's having a hard time and they need a yarn, or they want to come down and just spend the day with the team when we're training, like we're open arms, And I suppose that's our values in Marlins, but now it'll be in Kings. And I suppose it comes from a bit of a story from myself when I went through a really hard time in my life. But the one thing I always came back to, and that's why that football club has a special part of my heart, was Rochelle Tigers. It was always the place that I could just be myself. I didn't have to impress anyone, kick the ball around with the boys. So men's mental health will definitely be our drive for that. If we can help promote or help in any way possible, that will definitely be on our.
I think you're doing it subconsciously as well, like doing the training sessions, creating this 2 groups now, but arguably it's the one. It's just this culture of people just wanting to get around something that's fun. It's creating a better decision for a lot of our men, but also I see you always park up, and normally you bring about 6x3 tents and everything else, tools and everything, because you have a huge community that want to be part of it as well, and I think the ripple effect of good men's mental health is good women's mental health, you
Yep.
know, and kids' mental health. So you're the trailblazers in that space. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of not-for-profits that you can help contribute that to. But I think, you know, for yourselves, you're obviously doing that as well, which is you know, brilliant. Lastly, before we wrap it up, what can we expect from the North Coast Kings in the lead up? When we'll get to the Marlins in a little bit of time. Hopefully, you can get your assistant coach from the Kings to come back along, and he looks equally like the bloke who plays for you as well.
Yeah.
What can we look for or forward to with the North Coast Kings from now leading up into November? Oh, sorry, December.
Do you want to say anything first?
I think quickly for me it'll be what to expect. So the obviously we always say North Coast Marlins mount up, but it'll be North Coast Kings mount up now. We'll be trained hard and we'll be ready to go. So we've had a few years of experience in the nines, but we have a focus and a drive as well as a team. So that'll be from me.
If there's anything that Francis can do better than anybody I know is bring a team together, and that's what we need. We need 18 men that have come together and work together as a team. He's grabbed blokes that have never met each other before, and we've all bought into what he wants us to do. And I know that's what he's going to be getting us to do again. And then with a bit of the Campbell Pirihi flavour, I'm telling you right now, North Coast Marlins, we're going to be in the final.
Oh, yeah?
And guess who else is North Coast Kings? Like I said, North Coast Marlins.
No, it can be confusing. But I think it's, we're excited. I'm always excited, obviously, to reconnect with you guys. Big supporters of ours. I'm a big supporter of yous. And really look forward to catching up in a couple of months' time, obviously, for the Kings. And then, you know, talking about the mighty Marlins as well. Thank you very much for your time and all the very best in the lead up.
Sweet, thank you.
Sweet,
Thanks
bro.
for having us.
Having us.
Cheers.
Got too keen on the Marlins, bro.
I love it.